Hey everybody, this is Rusty again with Collector Auctions, and today I've got a short comic book haul for you. Now, before I begin, I just want to apologize. I've been away for a few days. I took some time off after going to the Baltimore Comic Con, which was fantastic. I hope you guys got a chance to go. I spent 3 days getting autographs and buying a lot of great books, and I was completely wiped out. I was so tired, and then I realized, crap, I didn't shoot content for Monday or Wednesday. So I took a few days off, and I'm just now getting back into it, and I've picked up a few things over the last few days that have come in. I've got a couple WhatNot orders, and I've got a Heritage Auction order that just came in that I should have received about a week ago, and I had some issues with that, and we'll go over that too. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Let's go over the haul. Like I said, it's a quick haul. I've slowed up really a lot since the Baltimore Comic Con, and yeah, that's pretty much it. I've showed you everything I got from the show. Let's show you what I've got this week. All right, first up is this. This is actually one, you've seen this on multiple videos now, multiple shows. I've gotten this several times. This is the Amazing Fantasy 1000, and it is the Tyler Kirkham cover, but if you can see up here at the top, it is actually signed by Tyler Kirkham with a couple of Spider-Man eyes as well. And I picked up, this is actually from New York Comic Con. I was watching Midtown Comics stream on one of those last days. I think they were actually giving away as a big giant prize an Amazing Fantasy 15. And I was watching the show, and they were doing sales throughout the day, and they had a bunch of Tyler Kirkham. He was on the channel with them, and they had a bunch of remarks that got a little pricey, but they did one where he had just the spider eyes here, and I thought, okay, it was reasonable enough. I would go ahead and just take a flyer on it. This is the last book I picked up from the New York Comic Con from that. It took them a little while to get those orders placed. I guess I kind of get that. They probably had a lot of orders that day. A lot of people, a lot of eyes were on that show that day. But I just got that in, and it's not in the best condition. I mean, it looks really good from here, but there is this square bound book. There's a little bit of a crease over here, so I had kind of wanted to send this into CBCS at some point to get authenticated and everything, but I will have to work on it a little bit. I'm not going to send it in and try to get a lower grade. So right now, it's just going to stay as a raw. Okay, next on the list, I got a couple books back in from one of my favorite WhatNot sellers, Key Collectibles 313. They're out of the Detroit area, is my understanding. And I've slowed down my orders on WhatNot a little bit just because I've been going crazy. But this is one of my favorite sellers, and it's because they go over the books really good. And they show the book, they go over the edges, they talk about the book, and my experience with them is nearly all the books that they talk about that are in this super high grade, pristine, gradable books that I'm looking for. They're hitting on that. Now, sometimes they start these prices a little bit higher, but I don't mind paying more of a fair market value for this. Like, you can't find a steal all the time, but I'm looking for good values, books that I can grade and get value on the grading end of it. So I picked up, this is from one of their last auctions, and I picked up just a couple books from their sale. I don't think I've ever actually had this. This is Daredevil 183, and I think this is the first meeting of the Punisher and Daredevil, and it's becoming a little bit of a hot book now that MCU has brought Daredevil in. There's talks about bringing Punisher in on the MCU side of things, Disney Plus, and even though we already had that on Netflix and it was done so well on both shows, but I went ahead and picked this up. This is actually just a really tight cover. I don't see any spine ticks over here, so definitely a pressing candidate. I'll have to check on the value on this. I don't remember paying too much on this order. This wasn't an expensive order, but it was just a couple books that I felt were really high grade that I could go ahead and pick up at pretty good values. But the second one I picked up is another copy of Alpha Flight #1. And of course, this is the first appearance of a couple of the new characters in here, but this is their first issue in their own ongoing title. John Byrne writing, John Byrne artwork, just a fantastic cover. I love this cover right here. But yeah, this is a book you get a 9.8 on. It's got some value to it. 9.6 is a little bit of value, but I've noticed really most of the copies that I've been finding really just the spine ticks have been bad over here, especially in this yellow part. It shows up so easily. So again, I encourage you guys to check out Key Collectibles 313 on WhatNot. I believe they have a show every Monday night, and I'll be back. I'm a customer. I'm pretty loyal to them. Although I think I did miss them this week. Again, recovering from Baltimore Comic Con, I just was wiped out. So that was that. And then the last thing in this haul was an order that just got here yesterday from Heritage Auctions. It's an order that should have been here. I think I said earlier in a week ago, but it was actually, I think, on Monday. I think it was supposed to be here Monday, and I got notified that it had been delivered, and I'm going, well, I've been here all day, and nothing showed up. I've got security cameras, nothing showed up. So I contacted Heritage, and I said, hey, we got notified that it was delivered, but it wasn't delivered at my address. Can you guys look into it? I mean, what's my recourse? I'm not even sure how I guess I could go to FedEx, but I think in a lot of cases, the first step should be talk to the sender. They should talk to their shipper about what happened to the books. Well, I came back from work today, and what was sitting there was my package. So the books got back safely. I don't know the story. I know this has happened before with FedEx in my area, that they literally will see the first 4 digits and not even look at the rest of the address, and they'll know that address. They'll know there's another 9342 in this area, and there's a couple streets over. I think there's another just exact same number. Now the street name's completely different, but that day was a CGC order, and it was a big 25 book order. And I remember working there on a Sunday out there in the yard, and young lady pulls up in a car and starts carrying that box, and I'm kind of excited, and she says, hey, are you Rusty? And I said, yes, of course. And she said, well, this just got dropped off at my door. And that's another thing FedEx has been doing a lot lately, is they're supposed to get signatures on, especially those CGC orders. They're not doing it. They literally are dropping, running, and that's it. And while most of the time I've got somebody here at the house, whether it's me or my wife, there's times when we may step out, and I don't like that. The neighborhood's pretty good, but you never want to take chances. But anyway, Heritage order came back in. These were a couple of, I thought like they were bargains. I don't have prices on me right here, but I didn't pay too much. But I also know this one, and one of them is graded, one of them is raw. But the graded one, I know the value has been dropping recently, but I still think there is still value and upside to this. But I picked up a new copy of Infinity Gauntlet #1 as a 9.8. And you go out in the wild, well, I shouldn't say the wild, but shows, and people have got really nice copies raw of this at $25 to $35, $50 sometimes. And I'm going, well, with grading fees, just alone, grading fees plus the book, I mean, you're nearly more than half of what I paid for this. So the value on a 9.8 has dropped. And so I went ahead and picked up another copy. I have my own copy as the 9.8. I bought this as just an investment book that I can hold on to a little bit. And let's see if that price, the economy picks back up after the election next week. Let's see if the economy comes back and we can get these values up a little bit. This is always a classic George Perez cover, Jim Starlin's story. Just an awesome book, I felt like. But then the other thing I picked up was a raw book, and I'm sorry, it's got this. Actually, let me pull it out here. Heritage has a thing where they, on their books, and well, not on the books themselves, but on the bags that they put their slabs and their raw books in, they put a sticker on there, and I'm going to take it out. Take it out of the initial bag. It's still bagged and boarded. God, what did they do with the tape here? Oh my God! Hang on a sec. I'm sorry. This is becoming a bit of a mess. Too much tape around raw books, guys. But I picked up a raw book. I felt like it was a good value. Again, I don't have the numbers on me right now, but I've never owned this. I don't think I've ever read this. This is Iron Man and Submariner #1. This was, of course, right after we've got Tales of Suspense and or Tales to Astonish, Tales of Suspense ended, and right before both of these characters get their #1 issues. This is the story that leads, I think it leads into both of those. But as I said, I've never read this. I don't even remember seeing it reprinted. So I may take a careful hand and kind of actually read the comic book a little bit, at least thumb through real carefully. Heritage has this as a fine, it looks in really nice shape. I'm probably going to go ahead and get it graded. Now, it does have a dog-eared crease down here at the bottom that I know will knock down. I hope it doesn't knock down too much, but a little bit of rough edge up here. But overall, the rest of the cover, everything looks very flat. I haven't pulled it out of the to take a look completely at the back, but the cover and everything looks really good. I'm hoping to get in that 7.75 range, maybe pull it up from what they graded out as a fine. I'm hoping to get it up into maybe a fine plus VF minus in range. We'll see. But that's down the road. We'll get it in the shop and we'll get it. I've got so many books that I've cleaned and pressed that are just sitting there waiting to go into CGC. I've slowed my orders down a little bit. It's so expensive. And again, we go back to the economy. The economy's down right now. So books aren't selling quite like they were even 6 months, 8 months ago to a year ago. So I've slowed the orders down, try to go through, sell some of my inventory that I've gotten back in, but I'm still cleaning and pressing at a pretty good clip. And I've been sending in a few more of these Silver Age books. I just sent in one the other day that I've got. I think I ended up doing it's a fast track economy order. I paid that little bit of extra to get it back in so much sooner. I've got 2 in there now. One's been in there since I want to say April, and there's no movement on these at all. And from everything I understand, it's probably going to take about a year to get those books back. So I went ahead and fast tracked the last order, and that's what I'll probably move forward. And some of these Silver Age books like this, I will do that. But anyway, guys, that is it. Short video for today. Hope you enjoyed these books. I look forward to coming up with the next video. Again, I'm slowing things down just a little bit because I've kind of exhausted. I'm still exhausted from Baltimore Comic Con. I'm so tired. And we slowed some of the books are coming in a little bit slower right now. I've got some new books coming in, new comic book days and things like that. So I don't know what the next show is going to be about, but guess what? It'll probably be about comic books. So anyway, guys, take care, and I will see you for the next one.